It has the downside of like, oh, now I can't use Death Rattle cards, but the upside of it absolutely shitting on your opponent's board is
There is much to learn
horrifying. Like,
I was born on.
I don't think priests are even necessarily that good, but it's just like the thought of having to play against these spells, these interactions, that's nonsensical. It's like, priest is notorious for having stuff like this that's just anti-fun. Like Resurrection Priest. Resurrection Priest has been around for well over a year, and it's not like it has a crazy high win rate. It's just horrible to play against. Like no one ever has a good time playing against Resurrection Priest because you just have to keep making trades and they just have to keep like casting one spell a turn, like bring everything back. And even then it's just so cursed because they have so many legendaries and things that can help with these. Um, it's just really not fun to deal with. It's like, they play some Death Rattles turn one, and then not to mention some of these cards overlap, so it's a Death Rattle Reborn, and you have issues like, oh, I can board clear them, but they just come back, and the Death Rattles leave them with positive effects, like healing to full health. Then you also have to deal with them just bringing their garbage back every other turn by casting Mass Resurrection, and you're like, oh, well, I only have to deal with it twice, so it's not that bad. But then you have to actually deal with it a little bit more than that because of discovery spells existing, and then Priest also has a disgusting amount of discovery going on. They have the 1 mana, what is it? 1 mana heal 3 discover a card. And then they have additional ones where it's the minion, I think it's a 2 mana 2/3 or a 3 mana 2/3. If you target this minion with a spell, discover another spell. So you can just either abuse them to discover more Mass Resurrections, or you can do other things, and it's just horrendous to play against.
Trust
What's happening here?
There is no safer course.
Not summoning it. But yeah, it's really interesting seeing a lot of these like staple cards go too. Like the Frostbolt's gone as well from. I'm hoping this actually leads to a lot more creativity within the meta. It's super hard to tell what's actually gonna come out because we don't have any additional reveals from the new set coming. Well, they'll be here eventually, but we're still, I'd say, maybe at least a week away from them starting the reveals. Granted, I think most of the time they've done reveals, it's been like they do almost everything within a week. But yeah, like we haven't seen any of the other rank spells. We haven't seen some legendaries or something. Like most classes, if they have anything revealed at all, they have like 1 card revealed. Oh, okay. Let's hope it's not. Let's just keep hitting fate. But yeah, so it's hard to judge with what's coming, but we just know a lot of staple cards are gone now that have seen so much play. Warriors losing, field block, the 3 mana gain 5 armor, draw a card. Really good. Spill. That's a lot of. Oh yeah, he can have every. I'll hold off on actually. Let's use it.
I have proved my point. You have proved you do not belong here. Leave me.
It's just one of those things. Oh cool, you still get EXP for. Granted, that's awful EXP, but it's there. It's there.
My only home, unable to convince my clan to act, I would have to confront the horde by myself.
Actually,
should they listen,
about the card list, so I have them on hand. Yeah, Book of Heroes, Valyria. Oh yeah, Jiraxis is gonna be nice to see. In an actual playable state instead of the set to 15. That was always awful. Not sure how often you'll see him, but he seems like a really good value-oriented card. Because now it's just gonna be like, oh, play him when you hit 9, summon a 6/6 for 2 every turn. Like, you'll just be overwhelmed. Not sure how much play everything else we'll see. I'm sure Alexstrasza will. 9 mana. It's basically like, it's almost a Pyroblast with a body. Like, we're talking 9 mana 8/8, which bad stats for the cost, but the fact that it's attached to a deal 8 or heal 8 battle cry is kind of insane. Especially if anyone gets to keep the additional battle cry effects. Like, if I'm pretty sure these things are going to be rotating out for Shaman, but if they ever got to keep stuff like the the quest they currently have, or after a set amount of battle cries they get to copy paste it. Actually, okay, I was gonna say that they still can't pull it off, but then they have the card that makes the 1-cost card that makes your hero power free. So never mind, you can still pull it off.
But my people could not endure that. Defeat me. I'll consider your request. Back to work.
Alexstrasza is just going to be a really good card. We haven't seen her in play for a little bit. She keeps on coming in and out just because, like, not anymore for setting yourself to 15. That was mostly like a mage ice block thing, but it's been out of play for some time. All enemy minions. But she's mostly been used to setting your opponents to 15 health, because it's essentially like, what was her cost? I think she was still a 9 cost. It's basically 9 mana, deal 15 to your opponent, because you don't have to worry about dealing face damage all game. You just start slapping them about.
I can't do that.
I should probably be using this app. Better set up for one. Look at some other of the core set cards. But yeah, set cards. These even part of the new set. So let's see. Shadowed Spirit, Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Seems like a neat card. It still sits with the problem of it being Death Rattle oriented for Priest. which is just gonna be a bit dangerous, especially if they keep all those resurrection things going. Then you're just gonna go back to like, oh, I have all these death rattle cards that are just gonna absolutely annihilate my opponent. The other stuff seems pretty interesting. Discover a spell from your deck. Not so much. Ways you can cheese it by just having very few spells if there's certain spells you want to copy paste. But I also just, at least it's sticking to cards from your deck and not for cards in general. This will still pose into gameplay problems like looping mass reses, but not that bad, I'd say, because it might promote other strategies. Focused Will, silence a minion, then give it +3 health. It's interesting. Pushes more play towards older priest stuff. Oh, what were they? Inner Fire? Is Inner Fire staying in the deck? The Shaman card, Novice Sapper, though. A 1 mana 3/2 with +1 spell damage, Overload 1 is insane. 1 mana 3/2 in general, even if it has Overload 1, crazy. And then the spell damage attached to it, still pretty good. It might function like the Mage card right now that they have, the 1 mana 1/3 +1 spell power. Like you can just hold it around to do certain things. Increase the damage of your AoE, whatever. It's neat. It's weird still seeing. Well, actually, no. This is a core card, so I guess it makes sense that it's just spell damage and not something specific like, nature damage. Ritual of Doom for Warlock is very fun. 0 mana, destroy a friendly minion. If you had 5 or more, summon a 5/5 demon. See, when it comes to really yawning. This can be gamed. You can do fun stuff like, whoa. Start of your turn, deal 4 damage to Misha. Am I supposed to save her?
You fight because you are scared. I am the same.
Well, my draw was unfortunate for that.
But I will.
Oh, at least she's holding up. Because there's gonna be the new like imp summoning cards. So those are gonna be very useful. I need to find that. Hold on. Hearthstone.com. Because they revealed that card. It's just...
no others.
This isn't worth you.
I don't want to do this, but I will.
Okay, Hearthstone. Let's find that new card set. Forged in the Barrens. Yeah, rank spells. Legendary Mercenary minions. Word Frenzy. I thought the Mercenary thing was just for one of their new game modes. I mean, it's being released with that. Oh, whatever.
I don't want to do this.
Let's see. Yeah, none of the reveals are queued up yet, so we're still a ways away from that. Alright, Imp Swarm. 7 to 3/2 Imp upgrades when you have 5 mana. Oh, but I think... Okay, rank 3. Yeah, it's just summon 3 imps. That's unfortunate, so it still doesn't fit into the... It still doesn't fit into that 0 cost. But they have to... They have to have something in the works for more swarmy type stuff. Otherwise, what's the point? It'd be weird to see a card like that with no support, but it's in the core set, so it not having support to begin with seems odd. Oh, but no, hold on. They added. Is it not on the Hearthstone list? Database for the core set. There you go, Misha, you're free.
I knew you'd come around.
Alright, it was around here somewhere. Yeah, Fiendish Circle, 4 mana, summon 4 1/1 imps. That's still one short of being able to do the spell. I mean, you'll probably have something on board, but it just seems odd. Still neat though. I think they just need more swarming stuff. I guess they have Possessed Villager that works a bit.
Careful to always avoid the cities until one day I had no choice.
Yeah, it seems really out of place for their core set. As for their core, they only have, what is this 16 cards? Mortal Coil staying, Drain Souls. Okay, so Warlock has access to Shadow, Fell, Fire type spells. But yeah, I'm really excited to see spells or cards that target actual spell types. I figured they'd reveal more with the actual initial reveal, but we only have, what is it? We have Spirit Healer that has benefits for when you're casting holy spells, so it's basically only Priest and Priest and Paladin. That's what I was thinking. That get to reap any benefits of that card. I mean, the stats don't seem bad. A 4 mana 3. Actually, no, that's.
They came out of nowhere.
Order.
You are badly hurt.
I don't know much about Rexxar. So this, whatever lore is going on here is out of reach.
I can do little to ease your pain. I know. This would be a good death, if not for my failure. Failure? I was to deliver a crucial report to my chieftain. Now, I cannot.
Alright,
I have lost my honor.
Frenzy seems like an interesting new keyword as well. It takes a bit of thought because you just need your character not to die, and you get something out of it, which is really nice. I already really like the design of the Sunscale Raptor. Frenzy, shuffle Sun. Okay, so it's a 1 mana 1/3. Frenzy, shuffle Sunscale Raptor into your deck with a permanent +2/+1. There, very easily can you ruin this because it only has 3 health. So the counterplay is definitely there. Something like Eye Beam, 1 mana, just slap it for 3, and boom, it's over. The frenzy doesn't exist anymore, and you'll only ever have at most 2 of these at a time. However, Hunter got Dire Friend, which will also be very nice for this. Dire Frenzy, 4 mana, give a beast +3/+3, shuffle 3 copies into your deck with +3/+3. So then you can get your Sunscale Raptor count up. And it also functions with another one of the core set cards that was given to the Hunter, being the Selective Breeder, the 2 mana Battlecry, discover a copy of a beast in your deck. And it's not discover a beast in your deck, it's discover a copy of a beast in your deck, so it will copy the buffed Sunscale Raptor, or whatever card you decide to buff with,
Your honor is not lost.
buff with Dire Frenzy.
The city of
Though
Orgrimmar
Though I just like this whole thing surrounding the Sunscale Raptor. But yeah, we're working with very limited reveals here. Mankrik just seems insane. 3 mana, 3/4 battle cry. Help Mankrik find his wife. She was last seen somewhere in your deck. When you draw her, well, sorry, when you draw him, or the quest bit that says that she has fallen in action, you get some crazy stuff out of that because it summons Mankrik as a 3/10, and then immediately slaps your opponent's face for 3 damage. So 3 mana 3/4, which isn't terrible. It's not great, but we have worse statted 3-cost cards. It doesn't do anything instantly, but there's the odds of you just immediately drawing into that Mankrik again. So you can get a turn 4 on your board, a 3/10 on your board, which is insane stats for the cost. And then hits your opponent for 3. So basically, it's a -1 to draw. Since the Mankrik card itself doesn't have an effect where it's like, oh, cast when drawn, drawn to the card, blah blah blah. It's just cast when drawn. So for 3 mana, you're getting a 3/4 and a 3/10, and you're hitting face for 3. So that's a lot of value built into just one card.
Destroyed our camp. We have to clear them out. Then we can discover what really
Eon's just an interesting one that they're adding. It's painful to see Frenzy cards without Rush, because you have to think so far in advance to actually get anything done with them. Well, I guess not think super far in advance, but like a 2 mana 2/3 that doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything until next turn, and even then, in order to do something, it has to survive. It's just kind of rough.
Overcharged and ready to fight.
This survives damage. Okay, so it doesn't need to attack and survive damage. It just needs to survive damage. So I guess you can cheese it if you have personal effects that deal damage. So like that one warrior card that doesn't exist, well, won't exist pretty soon. The 0 mana deal 1 and then gain 2 attacks, stuff like that. Though I think they're keeping Whirlwind, so Fury will basically just have, sorry, not Fury, but Warrior will essentially have like a monopoly on getting good frenzies off. What else is there? I don't think there are many classes in Hearthstone that will actually be able to cheese frenzy to a crazy degree.
Peace is always fragile.
But I guess we'll have to see. What is this? Is this? It's Lady Vosh? Oh, Lady Darkscale. Huh? I have no idea who you are. I don't even know who you are. It's just one of those things. Let's see what to do. They're buffing the board. I should have probably summoned Misha, but oh, I should. Oh, never mind. It's not. I didn't even bother reading through it, but. Other crazy reveals. Druid of the Plains is just good. It's not like an insane card like, oh, this is gonna change everything. It's just a really good card. basically just a 7 mana 6/7 with taunt, deal 7 damage if it survives. Shadowhunter Vol'jin, not that great. It's the free card everyone got. I imagine it's probably just gonna exist as a way to push cheese mechanics. I don't imagine this is almost ever gonna be used on your opponent, at the risk of being like, oh, I'm getting rid of your like 5 cost, and I'm like pulling out your Deathwing from your hand or something along those lines. I guess I could see playing like all decks, but it doesn't do anything for me. Back to all enemy minions. Samuro. Weak to start off with, considering he's a 4-mana 1/6 with push. But then if he survives attacking something, he casts Whirlwind, basically. It's just deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. Baseline doesn't seem that great. I can see a lot of things that he could do. Oh. Baseline seems kind of cool. A much better thing that it's going to pull from it is the fact that they're adding hand buff mechanics baseline. And they're like, yo, we're just going to start absolutely shitting out hand buff mechanics. Or at least I'm hoping that's what they're going for, because they've only revealed one card. They're like, we're adding a single like hand buff legendary, so we'll see where that goes. I think there are more neutral hand buff cards in the set right now anyway, but they're just not great.
I escaped, but war was upon us.
Actually, the Warlock one doesn't seem bad. It's what is it, the 2 mana 1/2, give him minion in your hand +2/+2, like that doesn't seem awful.
Hoping he could win his people to our side.
I need to take. Let's see. Another thought.
Rexxar versus
Oh yeah. The overall structure of this year's set release also seems very interesting. So, for the first time, with the most recent set, we've been accompanied with a mini set, which I think was $15 for like 30-something cards. Well, like half of that, but we got 2 copies of every card, which is really nice, so you don't have to go fishing for anything. But with the schedule that they released for the year, they marked that each set would be accompanied with a mini set, which if it holds the same value that this mini set held, it'll be great, because it'll definitely get rid of some of the like TCG fatigue, where once a set releases, after even in some cases it's near instant, depending on how much actually changes, because some people don't adapt to playing with the new cards. Wait, what is this? What?
job's done.
Okay.
Fight for us now.
Stole my shit again.
Follow the Khan.
Oh yeah. So each set coming with a mini set, it'll definitely help. What? What? How come they have such interesting cards for these little campaign things? that just never make it. I guess these are just like ideas that they have either exclusively for these, or it's just stuff that they throw together. They're like, yeah, take these like absolutely sick ideas and throw them in here. More secrets up. Yeah, so mini sets help with fatigue. I keep on getting distracted by all the stuff that's going on here. But, okay, mini sets help with set fatigue, which is a problem in almost every TCG. Because after a certain amount of time, it just gets boring. Because if a set is bad, especially, the meta just doesn't change. And it's like, oh, this is better, this is a little bit better, and it's like, you just get like archetypes that get improved, and that's just almost equivalent to torture. You're just having to suffer through having to play with a really smelly meta for extended periods of time. Sort of like how absolutely long it took to nerf Demon Hunter, essentially. So you had a metric fuck ton of people playing Demon Hunter upon release for, I think it was well over a month. And you just had to deal with that. You just had to deal with getting absolutely demolished by like 1 mana 2/2 +1 whenever Demon Hunter attacks, and then they have a bunch of crazy things to just make sure that the 1 mana 2/2 is basically a 1 mana 3/2 on turn 1. If they have a coin, it just happens. There's nothing you can do about it. Wait. And then there's the overall design of the set. So we're starting with Horde first, which is pretty cool. We haven't had a set that's just super vanilla. We've immediately jumped into all these like weird dynamics here and there, but at some point, I guess, well, now is when we're finally jumping back into good old, like,
half orc, half ogre before.
classic sort of archetypes. Because, like, the conflict in WoW itself at this point has almost nothing to do with Horde versus Alliance. And it's been like that for a long time. They're also really bad at designing anything around it, because it's never just like Horde did something wrong and they're sticking with it, or Alliance did something wrong and they're sticking with it. It's always been like, oh, there's like some weird dude controlling the Horde or weird dude controlling the Alliance that did something pretty sus, and literally no one in the game agrees upon it. Like, there's never been any debate of whether or not, like, oh, the Alliance is actually fighting or not. It's just been like, oh, we're always working together. This is jumping, since there's like no actual character input for Hearthstone. It's neat to see that they can actually do that very nicely. So we'll, judging by the pictures that we have set up for the set images, which always come out at the start of the year. So the first image, big red circle, has like some spears around it, maybe like a bounty hunter paper. So that's representing the Horde one that we're getting at the end of the month. The Alliance one looks like stone bricks. You've got your Alliance banner. The circle is colored blue. Makes sense, Alliance. Someone pointed out in a video, I think it was Hearthstone Trump. He pointed out that there are pink rose petals. Well, maybe not rose petals, but blossoms. Basically, there are pink petals at the base of the image. And you'd initially think, judging by the set of images, it would go Horde, Alliance, and then the last one, it's a top-down view of a bunker from Alterac Valley. So you'd have something like that. But there might be just a bit of a twist, because the only time, at least from Trump's perspective, the only time the petals have ever come up in World of Warcraft would be Lordaeron. There's the scene in Warcraft 3 where Lordaeron is it's sort of like the top-down view again. You've got some petals rolling in, and this is the scene where Arthas is coming back from Northrend, I think it is, and he executes his father. So there might be something involving Lordaeron, but that seems like a bit of a stretch. I have a feeling it'll stick with something more classic and just go straight to Elwyn Forest, maybe Red Ridge, since it went for Barrens for the Horde. Barrens is pretty famous. It's still considered mostly an Orc zone. Well, actually, if we go by vanilla, it's Orc, Troll.
A pity my daughter
Orin eventually has to go to Barrens. Are your chance to something along those lines. Oh wait, that's his hero part. That's disgusting. But yeah, I'm hoping for something more classic like Elwyn or Red Ridge. Personally leaning towards Elwyn, just because I think that's more, definitely more identifiable to the Alliance. Red Ridge, all in all, neat zone. I'm just not as interested in it. And then Elwyn still has a lot of things that could give it character. Plenty to do with the Abbey. You can talk about all the gnolls around, all the kobolds. There's plenty of actually interesting quests that happen within Elwyn. You have the whole, I think, Maybell thing going on with the invisible potion, the sort of romance skit that they have going. Wait, charge? What? Alright. Guess that was changed for this. And yeah, and then we'll have the grand finale of Horde versus Alliance in Ulteric Valley, which I think will definitely a compelling expansion to the TCG. It will definitely be interesting to see what the side sets are. I'm assuming those will actually. Oh, that's really cool. I don't know about the side set for Ulteric Valley would be, but maybe for the Barons, it'll actually be Razorfen Crawl. That would make sense for them to venture in that dungeon, and then for the Alliance-themed expansion, maybe maybe the Stockades, or it's the dungeon in Westfall.
I was free to return. When I finally found my people, it was just
Dead Mines.
They were under attack by the Blood Maul ogres.
Wow, these challenges take forever. This is for like a single pack of class-based cards?
I would
Damn.
use all my years of fighting to save
This stuff takes forever. It's been almost an hour just doing Rexxars. With no, like, re-clear attempts. But yeah. I think this will definitely draw some people in, just because the ideas are more basic. Hearthstone has done some interesting stuff in the past, like the troll-based expansion was really cool, had like a really cool music video going for it. But I think a lot of the like a plot and weird story elements they had going for stuff like the dragon expansion and all their more recent stuff has been like too much of a departure from World of Warcraft or Warcraft in general. Like, it's just really out there, and people like simpler things. It was neat and all, but then like when you go from stuff like World of Warcraft, where it's a lot of like big world events and stuff is supposed to be taken semi-seriously, like, oh, these your actions will have consequences, things like that. But then you go to Hearthstone and it's like, oh, we're the super gang of good guys fighting the mega evil corp. There's a bit of a disconnect. Like, what drew people initially to Hearthstone and the World of Warcraft TCG to begin with is the fact that they have this giant IP behind it, and it's
like fighting a mountain itself. I don't like traps.
Don't like traps, huh? And it's nice going back into Hearthstone and seeing stuff that actually correlates with WoW, and you can make those connections. Like, it's very simple, but it's basically just like, brain good, brain like. Like, they could have easily still been keeping up with WoW content, with, let's say, sets designed around raids, dungeons, things like that, or mini sets even, and still have been doing crazy cool things, just like taking all of these things for inspiration. And not having these crazy departures from anything. But I guess this is more of a personal taste sort of thing. Summon 3/1/1 snakes.
Like ogre, but small like orc. I am many things.
But yeah, there's a lot of material to cover about Hearthstone. I definitely want to take a look at more reveal cards, but I just don't know when those will be coming out. Do I just lose here? I feel in danger. Oh, that's a blast from a card used to be. Maybe I can still win. Oof. And also maybe not. This is looking really rough. Wow. Really rough. Final fights, I guess. Basically just at the point where if I leave anything up on the board, take a huge out. Oh yeah, the mercenaries thing just looks neat. I'm assuming it's basically just gonna be, well, by the way they explained it and the what they showed off as being sort of the pillar of the whole thing, it just seems like it's gonna be Hearthstone plus Soul of the Spire, but the fact that you can design teams for it, kind of neat. Wow, this is rough. Rexxar, where are all the cool cards that we had in the previous missions? Where's that absolutely insane, like, 2-mana summon Misha thing? Axe Toss rank 2. Yo, when are they putting this in WoW? Give Survival Hunters some love. Give them Axe Toss rank 2. That Survival Hunters just cost nothing, lose game. Lose game.
Blood mud on these mountains.
Off. Well, I guess that's our first L in the campaign. Try again. But beyond that, there's not much else to cover. In regards to all the new stuff.
Rexxar versus Gorgram.
There's some like interesting cards here and there, but nothing really worth mentioning. Paladin seems oddly not really changed much at all. I guess there's like a buff here and there. It's nice seeing Pursuit of Justice getting introduced. 2 mana give +1 attack to Silverhand recruits you summon this game. That's definitely the type of support that Dude Paladin actually needs, instead of all the weird cards where it's like like +1 attack, summon this turn. Like all this permanent stuff is really cool because it'll actually have an impact. Prior to this, Dude Paladin has mostly been absolute garbage. Well, it's been good here and there. It's not great. I think there's been at some points in time where Dude Paladin isn't just horrendously bad, but there's never been like, Dude Paladin's absolutely dominating the meta. But with something like Pursuit of Justice, and then the legendary Paladin card that got introduced, I think, the last set, where it gives them all permanently Divine Shield, all of that is like super interesting and definitely actually has an impact further on. Because like all these little dudes that you start pumping out, like even with a single Pursuit of Justice and the 5-cost card, you get your hero power is basically replaced with a 2-mana summon a 2/1 with Divine Shield. That's great. That's insane. Wow, I'm getting stomped by this guy. That doesn't help. I'll hold off pack tactics for... This is just unfortunate. Kinda wish I could pack tactics bird. I wasn't expecting it to get insta-good, but... There you go.
Blood mud on these mountains.
That's a web P. Or...
You smell like ogre.
Oh, there you go.
Like
Let me scroll down.
I am many things.
Damn. Well, I shouldn't have. It's just unfortunate.
I don't like tramp.
See if I can. Oh, this is new.
Job done.
I'll play that next turn when the board's empty, so... Actually, no, it's a lot of help.
I don't see that coming. I hunt alone. Job done.
Aww. What is this?
We will hold the Black Temple!
I have trained for days.
Ah, yes. Perfect. And now he attacks the trap. Yes! Yes! Right, he could just... Oh! It's not... Right? We're getting there. Hit the dragon. Alright, can't win every time. Oh, and I'm... Perhaps rip. There we go. Okay, okay, yeah. That's one of the cards I was talking about. Which is, pretty good. That's being added to the Paladin core set, and, I think that's genuinely gonna be... This is called Hearthstone Deck Tracker, the thing that I'm using right now. I'm not really making actual use of it at the moment, but
Job's done.
it does help a lot in actual ranked games and things like that. I'll drop a... I'll drop a link in the... There we go. So, whoa. Did we lose again? All I can do is actually hope that that gets killed. Yeah, I think I'm losing again.
Blood mud on these mountains.
There's different things you can use Hearthstone Deck Tracker for. Whether it's seeing what cards you have left in your deck, the cards that your opponent has played. There's the little icons here that will pop up to tell you which card your opponent still has that has been RNG'd or discovered, essentially. In other game modes, you have win rates or battlegrounds, so it'll tell you like what your odds are of actually winning, what are the odds of you lethaling your opponent that turn.
Rexxar versus Gorgra.
I think there's... I don't remember if it's attached to this one because I don't really do arenas, but there might be a different add-on that you can get that'll show you the value of like arena cards as well. So it'll be like, this card usually has a higher win rate, or this card performs a little bit better than this one.
There is no reasoning with a creature like this.
And play the game. Will Call Pet actually get a minion for me? No, it never does. I think I've gotten it maybe once so far. Actually pulls a minion. It's mostly all these weird cards. Yeah. Well, I don't really need tracking because most of the time I get really close to running out the entire deck anyway.
It is like fighting a mountain itself.
Well, hold on. I'll summon this so that maybe he actually plays something, but I want to hold on to this. I can copy it with maybe Machnathal Lion. Because it's just 5 damage to face. Still hasn't summoned a single minion. Which is what I want, so I can actually use this ability with Face Stalker. So I can actually get things on the board. Pass. I'm just thinking we have to play this a little bit different.
Your blood weak. You smell like ogre, but small like orc. I am many things.
Okay. Now we can start smacking the Face Stalker. It'll live with 1 HP, but that's fine. Get Pack Tactics? That's pretty good. Ah! Tactics triggers, gives me another Face Stalker. And now I just pray that the Face Stalker doesn't get yeeted by the Blood Maul Brute spawns, which odds are on. Damn. Right. Let's do this now to get rid of it. That's unlucky. Time to reassess some choice. This is pointless. Okay. Good. All line. And now we just start bashing face. I mean, fair enough. I never get a break. Oh, okay, so he hit face. Well, that's just getting dangerous.
I don't see that coming.
Okay. We've got 10 damage. Ah! Ah, but we've got the ignore taunt. Oh, another trap. Let's go. Okay. Maybe now it's a good time for tracking. Another Pack Tactics. Definitely will. That's just dangerous. Ah, that's... Ah, that's really good. This... I'm hoping this is worth it. Wait, no, that was the... Should you play meta decks? I mean, if you want to. I mean, that depends. Do you want to win or do you want to have fun? Well, yeah, meta decks are good. That's what makes them meta.
Step up!
People know what to expect. I mean, fair.
I've trained for
It's complicated. Well, not necessarily. Just because they know what to expect doesn't mean they can exactly counter it. That would require you to actually build around that. I'd say that's something more that you could expect from older Hearthstone, I guess, where people played stuff like Secret Eater, which unfortunately doesn't exist right now. There's a lot of stuff right now that's not really counterable, I'd say, even.
I have trained for days.
Oh. Wait, when'd you... Okay. You too. Have a good day.
Blood mud on these mountains.
Both attacks go through?
All for Maul.
Okay, good. Okay, so now I just get Huffer, right? And I win? Wait. Finally! Oh. 3 tries. A bit longer than expected, but
After the giant
you made it
fell,
through.
my banishment was at an end. My people welcomed
Maybe the other campaigns will also be fun because I liked all these essentially custom cards. Well, I mean they're made by Hearthstone and Blizzard, but they're not stuff that you usually have access to.
Than the journey we all take in our hearts. So long as we are wild and free,
Yeah, it was a pain.
find our way.
Definitely a pain. I guess that's how they're intended to be, because like all the previous ones seemed really easy.